Hello, everybody. Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas. Just want to
Hello, everybody.
mute my YouTube so I don't have an echo here. Now, let's see who's here. It's Christmas morning. I just decided to go live and share some of my holiday haul. I try not to shout in your ear today. I hope everybody can hear me all right. Hello, Kristen Louise, if you are still here. She said she can't stay, but wanted to wish a Merry Christmas. Hello, Roman Biscotti, Tangi, Merry Christmas. Hello, Gerald, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Hello, Jackie, hugs and Happy Christmas to you. So, where to begin? It's Christmas morning. I actually got a strange start yesterday on Christmas Eve. I turned on the TV early in the day. Oh, hello. Hello, Masha, Pepper Jackie, B. Happy holidays. So, yeah, I turned on the TV early in the morning yesterday and got sort of sucked into a vortex of movies. I don't know why I've seen these movies so many times, but it was like a Die Hard marathon. So I ended up spending the entire day watching one Die Hard movie after another. And then by the time dinner time rolled around, I was totally exhausted and went to bed early and had a long nap. So I was going to partake more of YouTube yesterday, and I just sort of got caught up in other things. I did end up calling my sister late last night, about 10:30, and we talked for an hour or so about the holidays. And she sent me a really nice gift package this year. And I like the tradition involved in it. She sent sort of a care package, I should say, of various items, mostly relating to family, kind of keeping in hearts and minds the idea of relatives that had passed. So she included in the box a box of chocolate-covered cherries, which was my late father's favorite treat, and a fruit cake, which was my late mother's favorite treat. And then she also included some of these dark chocolate star cookies that is her favorite treat, my sister. So I thought that was kind of a nice thing that she, made me think of family that I'm not with, or with on a different plane. So yeah, it was nice to sort of have that little token to remind me of my father, my mother, my sister, and have that little connection. And she also included, well, I don't have them to show you. There's a baker brand in Pennsylvania called Tasty Cake. And they have it in some stores here in New York, but they don't have my favorite thing, which are these things called candy cakes or tandy cakes, or I don't know what they're called now, but they're like these little yellow cakes with peanut butter on them, and then like they're sort of dipped in chocolate. And I really, really like them. Just like little flat, little disc-like cakes, but really tasty. So she sent me some of those, and those were really good. And then a nice surprise. Oh, I opened some of them. I got it about a week or two before the holidays, and I kept sort of fishing my hand in the box like a grab bag to pull treats out, because I knew there were some edibles in there, but I didn't want to know everything that was in the box. I wanted to save something for Christmas Day. So this morning I opened the last things, and look what she put in the box. A little Mandalorian Baby Yoda. Now, this is something I must have mentioned in a conversation with her on the phone at some point. I'm not subscribed to this channel. I've been curious about this show, but I've never seen it, but I thought it was cute. And so she sent this little figure to me. And who doesn't let, who, you know, what little child or grown-up child or second childhood or third childhood child doesn't love some sort of a doll on Christmas, you know, or little figure. So I absolutely love this, and it was quite a surprise. It wasn't anything I was expecting. And yeah, so I'm excited to call her this evening and see how her Christmas went and talk to her about that. So that was fun. I also bought myself a few gifts in preparation for the holiday. Oh, she sent me a little card. Nice little card. Sweet little snowman. I bought myself a few things before the holidays, some decks and things. I bought oh, sorry, I forgot to show you. Look what I got myself for the holidays. I now have a mug that I can share from my channel, Toadstool Tarot. Isn't that fantastic? I absolutely love this mug. It's reflecting a little bit, but it's a black mug with a whole woodland variety of toadstools or mushrooms on it. I thought, how perfect. I saw it on Etsy. I thought, how perfect for my channel. I have to have this. Sip set. So I have espresso coffee in here this morning. And I also bought myself a little bottle of Bailey's Irish Cream. So I put a dash of that in there to make things a little festive. Very tasty. And I also I'm ready for the new year. I bought myself a bottle of wine, Il Bastardo. Do you know this wine? I'm not a wine connoisseur by any means. I buy wine by the labels, the art on the labels. And it seems like I bought one of these decades ago. I'm not really an, alcohol consumer, but I really love this picture. If you're familiar at all with the art of Fernando Botero, a Spanish artist, he does these very rotund figures. All the characters, all the figures that he does portraits of or paintings of are quite rotund. So I just thought that was a fun bottle, and I'm saving that up to share with some of my online partiers. And so anyway, those are my beverages to come. I also treated myself early on to a toy called Shashibo. I don't know if you've seen these online. This has a really pretty pattern to it. And I have taken it out and used it. You supposedly can make like 70 different shapes out of this thing once you unfold it. But it's a bit like a Rubik's Cube. I had it open and played with it for about 2 or 3 days before I finally was able to solve how to get it back into cube shape again. And now that I've done that, I'm afraid to play with it anymore. So it's back in the box, which kind of defeats the purpose of having it as a toy, but it's more of a puzzle than anything, and I'm not really a big puzzle person. But the patterns and designs are really pretty. Before the holidays, I treated myself to a few decks that came early, and I didn't save them for Christmas. I opened them. And I've done walkthroughs of all these on my channel, so I won't show you the cards unless you ask to see them. But I got the Tarot of Curious Creatures, which I absolutely love. I have been using this a lot. It's bright and colorful. It's by Chrysanne, and I've really been enjoying that. I also got myself the Dream Vision Tarot, which is bright and colorful. Both of them play a lot with color, and I always think of ornaments and ornamentation around the holidays. So it's kind of a joy to have these lovely bright colors Oh, I saw Jamie come in to say hello. Hello, Jamie, if you're still here. And then I got the Love is Like a Board Game Tarot, which all of these I have walkthroughs on my channel. This one is like a Monopoly game, and it reminds me of, when we were kids around the holidays, the adults would have company over and they'd be in the living room where the Christmas tree was set up and all the, baked goods and food were set out like a big buffet. And the adults would be hanging out in there having conversation along with their cocktails. And us kids would be at the kitchen table playing board games. And we inevitably, between Christmas and New Year's holiday, would always play Monopoly. So this really reminds me of, the holidays because of playing Monopoly with the family and friends around the kitchen table. So I got that. And I also got Disney's Alice in Wonderland tarot deck, which is bright and colorful. It's not a favorite. I mean, I'm less and less a Disney fan as time goes by, although I did love this movie when it came out. But these are not actually illustrations by the Disney artists and staff. This is by some, yet another artist who's sort of emulating Disney style. But it's pretty close to the, Disney characters from the movie, and the colors are all there. So that's nice. Now, I did get some things closer to the holiday. I ordered and it arrived, I think 2 or 3 days ago, the Tiny Traveler Sasurabito, which I had experienced some tuck box rage over trying to get the box open. I tore the top flap. So that's a little frustrating. But I do like these cards. They're sort of a linen stock, and mostly I just like the size. It's a really unusual size card. Let's see if I can compare it to. Here's a card. This is standard size. This is the Curious Creatures Tarot, and this is the Sasurabito Tiny Traveler. So you can see it's much smaller. It's a tall, skinny card, but little. But it's not as small as the tarots in a tin or the mini decks. But it's just really, really a comfortable size to shuffle and hold and use. And some of the images I wasn't sure about at first. I had seen a walkthrough, and I think it was the size of this deck that sort of drew me in more than anything. And having worked with it a couple of days now, and I was on with Gerald and Tangi and Regina and Richie the other day in a live. I used these in a reading, and it read pretty well for me. So I'm fairly happy with this deck. So that was an early gift to myself that arrived on time. I had also ordered a couple decks off of Etsy. These I was less than happy with receiving them. Hey, Sandra, happy holidays. And these are variants on the RWS. And they're sort of in the vein of the kind of Carol Hertzer, handmade decks. But they're pretty well done. But the illustration, there's many color variations on Etsy in the shop. I can't remember the name of the shop. It's something like EMC something or other. If I can think of it, I'll put it in the description below. But what they do is, and they're pretty good size cards. I think it's standard size. They might be a little bit larger. They have this pattern, and then they sort of superimpose a negative image of the RWS on the cards. But they look a lot better on the Etsy website than they do in real life, and the color representation doesn't seem accurate. This one kind of appealed to me with this kind of fiery glow in like a night sky, and the white images. Now that I have this one, I'm not that happy with it, and at some point I probably will pass this along. But the cards are fairly well made. It's just the white has a kind of a gradated. White has a kind of a gradated pattern to it. You can see on the white pillar, it's sort of gray at the top and then white further down. So you have a kind of an inconsistency to the color in the line work that I'm not real tickled about. But yeah, these kind of add to my RWS variations collection. So this one I'm not as happy with. The other one I got, and I can't remember the name of these. They sort of go by the color. They're named by the color. Oh, they do come with a handsome little book. But oddly enough, the book doesn't feature this deck. It's like little color images from some other deck that it doesn't even tell you which deck it's from. But it's pretty good for just sort of like basic guidance if you need a guidebook. The other one I got, I saw about 4 of them online that I wanted, but I thought maybe not a good idea to order all 4 before you see one of them. So I gambled on 2, and I'm not ultimately completely happy with both the 2. But this one was gold on red. And the thing that disappointed me a little bit is, I mean, I knew it was probably not going to be gold, like gold foil, or, that it was probably going to be a color that approximated gold. So it's kind of that kind of tan gold kind of color, but it was on a red, and the appearance online looked like gold line work on a ruby red card. And I thought, ooh, that's really stunning. And the colors are more kind of like a yellow ochre on like a burgundy or something. I don't know. It was a little bit of an adjustment for me because the colors I didn't feel matched the imagery that I saw online. And also they're really highly glossy, but that's from the lamination. So anyway, this was not like a complete joyous success of a purchase, but I'll probably hold on to this one. Oh, also, they weren't in order. I had to like reorder them to like double check that all the cards were there. And they were there, but one of the cards was damaged in this deck. So I did mail to them and said, could you send me a replacement card? And they said they would, but we'll see how long it takes and whether it matches up the deck or not. I think I probably am not going to order the other 2 decks that I saw in other colors that I liked, just because, like I said, this didn't feel like it matched the representation on Etsy. But they were fairly cheap. They said they were 50% off, and even at 50% off, they were like $25 or something, plus near 8 or 9 in like tax and shipping. So not all that cheap, but I mean for handmade, I guess that's pretty cheap. But I just wasn't happy ultimately with the way they looked online versus the way they look in real life. Anyway, I did save for myself one surprise to open today for Christmas Day. Let me just double check back in the chat here before I show this big surprise. I'm winding way back. Tangi just finished opening her gifts. Did I? And eat fruitcake. I did sample the fruitcake. I'm not that crazy about it. It's very fibrous. It's mostly like fruit and nuts. And even though it looked very moist, the cake part of it seemed a little on the dry side. Wonder if it might be better if I like warm it up a little bit in the microwave oven or something. Just, to give it a little bit of warmth and soften it up a bit or something. Pepper Jackie loves my hat. Thank you. I make a lot of these hats, or have made a lot of hats. Tangi had a Die Hard marathon too. Did I say hi, Masha? Yes, hello, Masha. Debbie, Aquarius Al, hello. It's 2 a.m. where Masha is, and she's up because she had too much time in the sun and had a good 4 hours sleep in the afternoon. Her family's asleep now, but she isn't. Let me see. So that means, it's 2 a.m. like Sunday, so Christmas is over for you already. Let's see. Jamie. Yoda. Mandalorian is everything. I haven't seen it yet, and I don't know if I will. I don't know how much it costs me to subscribe to Disney Plus, and do I really want to? Maybe I could do it and then like sort of binge watch all the episodes and then unsubscribe. Somebody mentions Grogu. Is that the name of the Mandalorian? I thought it was Yoda. Nice mug. What do you have in the mug? I have espresso coffee with a dash of Bailey's Irish cream. Let's see. Sorry, I'm a little slow reading these comments. Jamie can't stay. Masha says, yay, wine person here. Wine's not alcohol. Wine is friends. Gerald's in love with Life is Like a Board Game. Masha loves the hat too. I have a bunch of hats. I might switch some hats. Happy Sandra is here. And I'll ask you all about what you got for Christmas and what, share what your little joys were that what you received, what you're enjoying today. Okay, I see Gerald and Tangi's note. I will check that out later. Hello, Nancy. Nancy, welcome. She's listening and preparing breakfast. I hope it's something yummy. Maybe like cinnamon buns. Sandra has Disney Plus. Okay, I've gotten down near the bottom. Tangi booped us. Sandra has books and decks she's enjoying. Okay, so this is a little bit of a niche deck for anybody out there. The Yarn Tarot. I ordered this about a week ago and it was delayed and came luckily in time for the holidays. And I thought, well, I know everything I've ordered and I've opened them all, but I'm going to like save one thing to open on Christmas morning, and this was it. So I didn't open this till this morning, and I absolutely love it. It's a pip deck, and it's really geared towards people that it says yarn tarot for crocheters, knitters, spinners, and weavers. I think it leaves the weavers a little bit out in the cold because the cards feature crochet hooks, knitting needles, bundles of yarn, and spinners to spin wool into yarn. And so anybody who crochets or knits, I think, will get a kick out of this. It also feels like a very wintry deck. There's no snow in it, but all the coloring and imagery in it is very autumn, winter, outdoors kind of palette. It's got a really neat box. If you squeeze it hard, it will hold, but if you slowly release your grasp on it, the bottom falls out of the box. And you got knitting needles, you got crochet hooks, you've got spindles for spinning yarn. It's a really cool deck. And in the box is a really cute little hardcover guidebook. And it only has black and white images in it, but it does have images of all the cards. And it's written really well. I was reading some of the descriptions in the majors and minors, and this I think would be really good for like anybody learning tarot. What is the name of the tool that weavers use to move thread through? Like a shuttle, you mean? Maybe? I have done some weaving on like little cardboard looms using just a long weaver's needle, instead of a shuttle. But this has some really nice information in it, and I really like the way it's written. They had an introduction in here. I need my other glasses for this. I wanted to share this to you. I won't do a lot of reading and bore you today, but it says, I like the way this is worded. The tarot is comprised of 78 cards divided into the major and minor arcana. While there are countless tarot decks with different themes and artwork, each has the same types of cards that represent the same things. I like that. And you can read this book regardless of whether you identify with the images in this deck or other decks. It will work. When using a tarot deck, it's more important that you connect with that particular deck than which deck you use. Some believe the tarot taps into the spiritual or supernatural to provide a means of enlightenment or even divination. Others see the tarot simply as a means of self-exploration through contemplation prompted by the symbolism and interpretations of the cards. Regardless of how you view the tarot, you should come away feeling uplifted. It is up to you how and on what level you connect with it. And I really love the way that was written. I think that's really wise and very generic in a way, There are suggestions here on like how to attune with your cards. The more connected you feel with your deck, the better you will be to read the cards and offer meaningful and accurate interpretations. To build that connection, do one or more of the following. Sleep with the cards underneath your pillow. I don't do that. It's a suggestion. You might. Does anybody in the chat sleep with cards under their pillow? Hold the cards close your eyes and visualize light entering your head and then flowing through your arms and into the cards. That's interesting and fun. Touch and handle your cards often. I think most of us probably do that already. Cleanse your cards by fanning them out and blowing on them, and or placing them in a neat stack and tapping on them. You may also want to smudge them with sage. Now, I've never heard of this blowing or tapping method of cleaning your cards, but I like the idea. I'm open to it. It says, do not allow others to touch your cards unless you're offering a reading. That's, subjective. Some people like that, some people don't. I don't particularly like people touching my cards no matter what, even if I would be reading for them. So the more familiar you are with your particular tarot deck, the better able you'll be to discern and express interpretations. Take some time to simply appreciate the artwork and see which details speak to you. And this is something I do when I go through a deck, even if it's a PIP deck. I translate the images in my head to the RWS images that I'm very familiar with and see, does it give me the same information? And this one does. I generally I'm not that fond of PIP decks, but this one, a lot of the images, the pips are arranged in a way that emulate or simulate the RWS. I'm going to do like a detailed walkthrough with my other camera so everybody can see all the cards. So I won't do that here. But if anybody is interested in any particular card from this deck that they would like to see, let me know and I will show that. Jackie taps her deck twice before and after reading with it. I used to summon Pixie. I would take the deck and say, Pixie, knock, 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 3 taps. Are you there? Please guide me in my reading. And I felt like somehow I was connecting with her persona and finding, Tangi wants to see the star card. Well, this one's a little bit standard, but I do like the stylization of it. I mean, this looks pretty much what you'd expect in an RWS card. The only thing is, instead of pouring from wine jugs or whatever, she's got balls of yarn, and the yarn is unfurling into the water and onto the land. So that's kind of cute. Let me see if I can show you some of the colors. There's the Fool. So they're kind of like muted, like I said, outdoor colors. Here's the Magician. This is a nice Empress. See, sort of, I think you can see what I mean, kind of like autumn or wintry kind of colors. Not really snowy, but autumn leaf kind of colors, And the details aren't showing up. You'll see the details when I do my walkthrough with my better camera. But there's a lot of texture from the yarn, and whether they show knitted or crocheted fabrics, you can see patterns in them, which is nice. It's a nice lover's card. Oh, I thought this was a fun Chariot card. We have somebody wearing a scarf riding on a motorcycle between a black and white rams or sheep. I guess it's sheep because you shear sheep wool to make yarn, right? But I like that idea that we have sort of simulating the chariot with the motorcycle and simulating the sphinxes or horses with the sheep. So that was kind of cool. Here's a pretty strength card with a cat and a big ball of yarn. Let me check back on the chat here. Okay, Gerald wants to see the Hermit and Moon cards. The Hermit card here's the Hermit, and instead of a lantern, he's holding a big ball of yarn, and it's, unspooling onto the ground. So that's kind of cool. And what was the other one? The Moon card. The Moon card is pretty standard, to RWS, but you do have like a ball of yarn there unraveling. They're very stylized images, and I like stylized art. 9 of Swords and 3 of Swords. Okay, we get into the minors. Oh, and I do like that even though the pips are represented differently than a regular deck, that they've kept the names the way that they were meant to be. So let's see, 9 of Swords and 3 of Swords. So the swords are knitting needles. 9 of Swords, I think they kind of missed the bet on this one. It's somebody standing behind 9 knitting needles. And I think maybe there should be like yarn unraveling on the floor, or maybe there should be some kind of errors in their knitted garment. Something that would create a nightmare aspect for a knitter, I think would be good. And 3 of Swords. Here's the 3 of Swords. This one's kind of typically, RWS. Still have a heart, but 3 knitting needles instead of 3 swords. And you have rain coming down in the background, but it doesn't show on this camera. So yeah, this isn't going to be for everybody, but I think it will appeal to people that like just sort of have fun with knitting and crocheting, or like to spin their own yarn, or want a wintry looking deck, because most of the images, even though they're not specifically winter and they have that wintry autumn feel, a lot of them are wearing sweaters or jumpers, so it's like a kind of it's a deck you can use year round, but a lot of the images are people like in the cold with like sweaters and scarves and interesting horses too. The horses' faces are really intriguing with big eyes. And there's a lot of cards in here that remind me of Zane. It's like with the goatee. Let's see, Jackie wanted the 3 and 6. Well, I showed the 3 of Swords. Let me find the 6 of Swords. This is the 6 of Swords. Now let me think, what is the 6? The 6 of Swords is like the boat moving on, right? I had to pause to think about this one because it's 6 needles or 6 swords. You've got a ball of yarn and you have a knitted project. And the only way I can translate this from the boat moving across the water is that, you have all these swords or needles into the ball of yarn, but you have the 2 oars kind of like making progress through the knitted fabric. So that kind of works, I guess, for the 6 of Swords. Let's see, Masha blows on her cards, sleeps with them under her pillow. has favorites at the bedside table, taps on her decks, ripples them, splits them, do her Russian thing. I don't know what her Russian thing is. She'll have to tell us what the Russian thing is. Is there a cat hiding and ready to pounce somewhere on the cards? There are cats occasionally on some of the cards. Is the Tower card a huge ball of yarn all unraveling because of a cat? That would be really good. Let me find the Tower card. No, they weren't as clever as you, Tanji. They just have people falling from the tower and balls of yarn falling with them. Yarn tower. Oh, Gerald's put in the link. Tanji likes a chariot. Saw the cat. Needs to be cats, says Gerald. Tanji likes the hermit. Gerald likes the hermit. Debbie likes the hermit. Jackie prefers different Three of Swords cards. Yeah, this is not anything exciting or different in your Three of Swords. Oh, looks like I'm caught up. Hello, Kim Moon Whisperer. If anybody wants to see any more cards from, I should probably show something from each of the suits. This was kind of interesting. This is the Five of Wands. It's wands or crochet hooks. So you have 5 people with their crochet hooks all kind of tangled up in yarn, kind of battling or struggling or challenging each other. It's kind of a neat thing. Here's the 10 of Wands. Somebody struggling under the burden of 10 crochet hooks. I don't know why anybody would be trying to hold 10 crochet hooks at a time. But if you're a crocheter, you probably have a whole array of different size hooks in your collection. So maybe that refers to trying to pick the right one for your project. There's some beautiful, here's the Queen of Wands. There's a cat in there. She's an interesting Queen of Wands with braids. It looks very Minoan to me in a way. There's the cat and the ball of yarn on the floor. The colors are a bit muted. And here's the King of Wands, also with a ball of yarn next to his throne. So I'm really enjoying these. So what have I showed you? Oh, the one I think they kind of missed on was the Pentacles, because I thought, well, what are they going to? We know crochet hooks are going to be the wands. We know knitting needles are going to be the swords. And what are they going to use for pentacles? Because I thought, oh, well, maybe balls of yarn, right? That seems obvious. They actually have like little knitted squares with pentacles on them. So, I mean, this is a very simple pip card 5. But this even this gives a hint to the RWS, because there's a snowy pattern in the background when you think of the poor people suffering out in the snow. So here we have 5 pentacles on a snow background. So you have that reference. And then the next one is like the 6 of Pentacles, is like a, sort of the charity card. And here you have this sort of like imbalance of, doling out these pentacles. And then the Gardener, the 7 of Pentacles, is like a little kind of a Christmas tree with a little trowel and, I don't know what you call that other digger tool there, gardener's tools, next to the tree. And then the other suit is the cups. And for the cups, they chose spools. So here's the 7 of cups, and you've got 7 different colors for, your 7 possibilities or wishes for the spools. Here's the 8 of cups with somebody walking away from the spools. The court cards are nice, actually. Here's the Page of Cups. No fish, but he's got a spool and a scarf and a little, knitted hat with a beanie on it. I mean, not a beanie, a puff. The Knight of Cups. And I like that it says Knight of Cups and not Knight of Spools, even though that would be more accurate. Here we have a Queen of Cups, and she is spinning yarn out of, what do you call, wool in this bag by the side of her throne. Oh, hey, Joey. Gerald likes the 6 of Pentacles. I don't want to scare everybody away with this deck. If there's anything else you want to see, let me know. But yeah, Gerald, my dark chocolate candy cane coffee is disappointing. Blah. Ooh, boo, Gerald, put a bird on it. Put a bird on it. I don't know what you mean by that, Tangy. I do know what you mean about flavors that are disappointing, though. I'm not much on alcohol, and so I got the measurements just right on. I just did a little dash of Bailey's in my coffee this morning because too much of it tastes too alcoholic for me, and I don't really enjoy it. But I like that hint of flavor that changes the coffee. Sip, sip, and if you arrived late and didn't get to see my Toadstool Tarot Mug that I got off Etsy for Christmas, I love it. I need to find a Toadstool Tarot deck that I like. There is a mushroom deck by some guy in the Northwest US, but I wasn't really taken with all the images. And it's really more like a natural guide to different kinds of mushrooms than it is imagery that one might work with in a tarot deck. Tangi and Sandra love the mug. I guess they weren't here early on. Sandra loves Bailey's and coffee. Yeah, I started off, I had my senior writing group had a little online party on Thursday. And I thought, well, to be festive, I need to have a little cocktail to share with them. So I went out and got the Baileys, and I had a little wine glass or brandy snifter or whatever of Bailey's, and it was a little bit strong for me. And then I had also had coffee that morning, and I hadn't finished it, and I, dumped the rest of my Baileys into my coffee, and it was better. And this one is even better because I only put the tiniest little amount of Baileys in it, so it's really nice. I don't have a coffee maker at home. I use instant, and a lot of people go, instant coffee. I use Medaglia d'Oro, which I think is sort of a local brand, like Gold Medal coffee. It's like instant espresso, and it actually, I like the taste of it. I don't like the taste of a lot of coffees, especially instant ones. So, Tangi's neighbor got her a bottle of red wine, delish, and it had a Taurus the Bull charm on it. So it was a twofer, wine and a bull charm. That's cool. Well, I've been on not quite an hour, and I've shown you everything I got myself or I got from others. And mostly this morning, it was kind of three treats. It was the mug that was a surprise to me how it looked. It was the yarn tarot and the baby Yoda were sort of, and so, like, that's really fun because there were other edibles I got that were not so hot, like cookies and things. Oh, I went out yesterday early in the morning to a bakery and got a box of like Italian cookies, and they looked good. They looked better than they tasted. So that was a little disappointing. So, like everything else, everything has its ups and downs, but today's a good day. I was like really thrilled with the three things I got today, and I'm having joy with. And I couldn't decide whether, oh, Gerald says he might go live this afternoon. Does anybody want to share or talk about stuff that they got for the holidays or things that they've done? Sandra's dad taught her about mushrooms and trees, etc. Masha's late grandfather taught her all things mushrooms, but this knowledge is only limited to where I grew up. Yeah. If anybody runs across like an indie deck about mushrooms or toadstools, let me know. Oh, I did have, actually, I got last year, unfortunately, shipped to me after the holidays. I wanted it for the holidays. And I got a couple of these last year, these little wrapped bags off Etsy with snowflakes on them. I keep belching, pardon me. I got these Christmas playing card decks or Christmas themed decks. And the company is Flans. I scrolled through about 400 pages of playing card decks on Amazon. And these were cheap. They were under $10, but they didn't come until like well into January, so I didn't have them in time for Christmas. But one of them is like Christmas paintings, of like sleighs in the snowy woods and country and mountain kind of imagery. Very kind of Bob Ross sort of thing, and really fun. And the other are these little gnomes, which are Scandinavian. Now I can't remember which country they're referred to as the Tomten or Tomta. And these do have some snow and some sort of Christmassy kind of things in the images. I don't know how interpretive one can be in reading with this deck. You could read it like a regular playing card deck. I didn't spend a lot of time comparing the images to the card suit and rank, but didn't find that they particularly lined up. Like, this is the 9 of wands, I guess, and you have like this little gnome stealing a baby. What is the 9 wands? That's like where you're kind of protecting yourself. I don't know if I would call that a protection card. I'll probably finish up at, by 11. So we have 4 minutes to go. If anybody has anything they want to add. But thank you all for joining me today. And here we've got a little gnome with a sleigh being pulled by, can't tell if they're foxes or wolves. I think they're foxes. Oh, and here it's like Yule Tompton. These are the card backs. It's like a sort of Christmas snow pattern. Let me find some cards that are particularly cute. He's ringing a Christmas bell. He's coming down in a parachute. Here's a gnome on a sleigh with a little Christmas pig. There's a tradition somewhere in the world, I don't know if it's UK or where it is, the Peppermint Pig. And so, yeah, I don't know if it's you get this pig made out of peppermint candy with a little hammer and you shatter it and eat it. I'm not sure where that tradition comes from. Sandra asked about the little Yoda. Yeah, Sandra, my sister surprised me with this. I got a baby Yoda. It's sort of plastic, but you can turn the head and shift the arms, sort of I guess you'd call that an action figure. I might call it a doll. Oh, this is a creepy card. Do you want some strange, it's sort of like Santa, sort of preying on sleeping children. I guess that's the dark side of that. He's probably being protective, but it's a bit weird. Gerald bought a Christmas cards inspired Christmas. Where did it jumped? Christmas Carol inspired set of playing cards. Okay. Gerald likes the gnome cards. Making new coffee for Jeffrey. Thanks for stopping by, Masha. I'm sorry we kept you up so late. I hope you're able to get some sleep. There's some gnomes in a cave. I don't know, or is it in the woods? I can't tell. Here's a gnome writing a letter by candlelight. And oh, here's one with birds. Feeding the birds. Here's another gnome with a bunch of pigs. Now, these gnomes are usually seen with red and white toadstools, but I guess they don't have toadstools in the winter wherever this is. Pigs must be a thing, though, for this part of the country or something. Well, this is a jolly one. It's a pack of deliveries, gift deliveries. It's cute. I love little cabins and cottages. There's somebody looking in the window, or looking out of the window. Here's some gnomes with a bear. And here's some opening up some sort of, I can't tell if it's pie or some kind of oatmeal mush. Here's, I don't know if that's supposed to be the New Year's baby being delivered or taken away. There are a lot of Father Christmas type characters holding babies in this deck. Oh, I love this card. We'll close on this one. One of these gnomes looks like the character from Mad Magazine. You see his face. And they've got little gingerbread people there standing they look like they're kind of in a, oh my gosh, Mr. Bill kind of panic on a pie or on oatmeal. I think those gnomes may be getting ready to eat those little gingerbread men. Hi, Regina. So, I guess that's it for my little holiday haul, and I thank you all for joining me. It's little couple minutes past the hour, so I'm going to let you all go and enjoy the rest of your day. Anybody that came in late, you're welcome to scroll back and watch this from the beginning. Tanji says, LOL, return the baby. It's not the one he ordered. I said, hey, hello, Regina. Hello, Donna. Did I see Deanne somewhere? Okay. All right. Looks like, wait, what is this? Okay, it looks like everybody's shuffling off to enjoy the rest of their Christmas. Have a great time, and I hope to see you in other chats, maybe later today or over the weekend or the coming days. And yeah, happy holidays. Bye, everybody.